When we are dealing with a huge world conflict, technology and social media play a big role. The next speaker, Serin will be talking about how digital technology and refugee conflicts interconnect.
Digital technology has helped the refugees. I want to talk about this topic because I want to let people know that digital technology has helped the refugees even after they have escaped from their countries. A few months ago, I went to the refugee center and gave bags to the children in the refugee center because it was Christmas. There were toys, clothes, and food. I went around the building to give the bags, and then I saw a lot of people with their smartphones. I was very curious. I mean, if they're having a hard time and in a bad situation right now, how did they bring their smartphones instead of bringing more money, clothes, or food? Then I noticed that smartphones are the most important thing to bring when they escape from their countries. So, when there's a war, you normally escape from the country. And when you normally escape from the country speaks a different language, like the Syrian refugees. They escape to the countries that are near their countries, like Turkey or Iraq. But Turkey speaks a different language, Turkish. And Syrian people speak Arabic, which means they need a dictionary or a translator to understand what they're saying. They also need a map to find where they can stay or sleep, like the refugee center. And if they press the GPS button on, even if you're in a different country, you can use the map even without Wi-Fi. You also need to check the news to find out what's going on in their country. And you also need to phone or text your families and friends that are still left in the country. Because when you escape from a country, you don't escape with everyone that you know. So you need to check if they're okay or not. It's much more better to bring a little smartphone instead of bringing big books, big dictionaries, electronic translator, or a big map. Then, because all those things are in a little smartphone. You can also bring a computer, but computer needs Wi-Fi. But most of the refugee center doesn't have Wi-Fi, which means you need data, but computers doesn't have data. So it's much more better bringing a smartphone instead of a computer. These days, many people use social media, like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I also noticed the Paris attack by Facebook before I read the newspaper or watched the TV. There's a lot of web pages and websites that helps the refugees. In Twitter, there's a web page called Action Refugees, which tells information and news about the refugees. In Facebook, there's a lot of web pages that donates. They tell the address to the people, and many people send blankets, food, and clothes to the refugees. I mean the address. In the internet, there's a website called Ich Helfe NRW, which sorts out which city needs more help with the refugees. Our school also does a lot of donations to the refugees. They collected shoes, toothpaste, toothbrush, clothes, food, and sometimes toys. Many people donated it by noticing it by email or the student bulletin. So next time, if you hear a refugee having a smartphone or using digital technology, don't think about negative stuff. Remember that it's the most important thing to bring when they escape from their countries. Thank you for listening.